What's up, y'all? It's just Rhonda. Welcome to my channel. It's Tuesday, y'all. You know we do on Tuesday. We recap these reality shows, and there was a lot going on this weekend. There was a lot going on. We got your Bell Collective. We got your Real Housewives of Atlanta. We got a little bit of Next Gen. If y'all aren't watching the Next Gen, listen, I am way too old for the Next Gen. But you know, I have it on in the background, and sometimes I see some things I want to talk about. So we're going to get into all the things today, y'all. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. We might as well get on started with Bell Collective. Like I said, it's season 8. It's episode 7. And where do we begin? These bells arrived at this house that Glenn and Latrice has the Airbnb, child, the Airbnb that they have got for this couples trip celebration. It's a combination of things. It's a Belle's couples trip, except for Tamara, who you know her partner don't ever come to any of these things. And then we go celebrate Mike and Selena's engagement. So it's like kind of a compact little situation over here. Anyway, they arrive at the Airbnb, and Glenn is standing at the door with champagne, greeting everyone. And he even had a champagne glass with a Coke for Marie. I guess Marie doesn't drink it, so she be on that Coca-Cola. I'm sorry. They were like, oh my God, this is nice. The house is nice on the outside. Is it just me? Am I being too bougie, or is this house tacky as hell? I feel like everything about it, like those throws thrown over that sofa. I don't know how many people been laying on that sofa with them, throws over there. I don't want it. This daggone pull out sofa, child, we gonna get to it. Anyway, they get in the house, and everybody finds their assigned rooms. Hale said she passing through. That's what she do. She passed through. She come let y'all know that you should like the video and subscribe to the channel. And then she goes back to her enterprise, because she has a lot of things going on over there. So I appreciate the love, Elsie, and I catch up with you somewhere around down to Instagram or something. Anyway, back to this Airbnb. Marie said, "Oh, they know what I like." I mean, I guess they all like it, child. Carrie gets her room, and of course she's upset. But Carrie knows that this is get back from when they went to the coast. I personally hate the whole "Hey TT, driving home," to talking to your microphone, child. I'll give you a little time, because I know you got some things to say about what was going on over here. Anyway, yeah, they down to this tacky room. Matt has not arrived yet. Matt is driving his own car. I personally feel the same way. I mean, it's a me thing. I like to be able to leave when I want to. I do not like, carpooling with people. Unless you live in my same neighborhood, I don't like to pick nobody up on the way necessarily, because then I got to drop you off before I get home. And when it's time to leave the party, I'll be ready to go home. And then I like to bring my car, because I don't want to be stuck there. You know what I'm saying? In case I need to bounce based on the accommodations. These accommodations are trash. So, Carrie threw a tantrum and stomped on the paper. And, she said she was calling her husband. And it's funny because she was like, my husband is bougie and he got these Marriott points and we not going to be staying here. I wish she would have kept that energy. I wish she would have kept that energy because it's one thing to be on twin beds, but they were in twin beds in a nice Airbnb. You know what I'm saying? Nice view and all of that. You're not going. This is not even a room. This is a couch stuck in some little cubby hole, and it looked dusty, and I just can't see it. But this is what they doing over here. I personally wouldn't have found that shit funny. Latrice has them set up for IV, so they got straight off the Sprinter and into this tacky ass Airbnb. I'm sorry, I'm gonna keep calling it that, and y'all let me know if I'm just being bougie, because like I said, the decor in this thing was, I don't know, horrible. I feel like this maybe Glenn might have thought this was a good idea. I feel like Latrice has way better taste than this, and so I'm gonna go ahead and say this must have been Glendale. She must have gave him the task of finding somewhere where they could all stay. And, she approved it, but, Glendale's sitting over there like grinning every time she says, me and Glendale. He's so happy to be a part of something, child. Good job, Glendale. You found a tacky ass house with a cubby hole and a pull-out couch. Child. Anyway, they have a chef come in, and I appreciate this. You know what I'm saying? Aside from the tacky house, everybody got their rooms. Matt said he came with his car and he not about to stay there straight out the gate. Let's see. You said Carrie is one thing, involving her husband and get back with was too much. And I mean, in a couch, that dusty shit, I wouldn't have wanted to stay in none of them rooms, to be honest. I'm just saying, they got the worst of it all, but I didn't really think I liked any of that stuff they had going on in that house. It just all looked so old and musty. It looked like it smelled musty. So yeah, Latrice had them set up with IV drips. Everybody didn't do it. I don't want you to set me up something like that. That's a little presumptuous. I'm not saying I wouldn't do an IV drip, but it doesn't make sense to me to be getting an IV drip while I'm drinking champagne. That's like being on a treadmill with a cupcake. I don't understand. Like, am I over here because I want to, refresh, or do I want to turn up? So, I'm who I think it was Tambra. A couple people said they wasn't doing that. Leticia did it, but of course she did, because she's exactly the person I'm talking about who does a treadmill with a cupcake. And Marie, she's been pushing Coca-Cola through her veins, so she might need to go ahead and flush her system. She put Selena in the basement. Sure did, and her and Cliff got the best room, but Selena needs to be grateful for whatever she get with her silly stuff. Every episode that Selena comes over here, I like her a little bit less than I did before, just for the simple fact that Selena be making dumbass decisions. Anyway, obviously when Matt got there, he wasn't happy about them accommodations, and everybody behind, in their confessional said how I don't blame Matt for feeling away. I would not stay here either. So, Marie don't even eat the food. Does she ever eat? Like, Marie is not a skinny person, but what is she just over here? She's got lupus. So I'm feeling like her Coca-Cola diet is probably not helping. Then she doesn't want to eat anything. She's always ordering pizzas to get-togethers and stuff. But anyway, yeah, Matt is pretty clear that he's not staying there. I wasn't really understanding Carrie, Carrie trying to say that Matt said he was leaving her. That's not what he said. I feel like this time Carrie should have been like, and Matt said, like, I'm not understanding why my wife is taking this bullshit, because they're full of it, trying to put us over here. But it's the first night there. Glenn and Latrice have a chef plan for the evening, which I like that. So everybody gets a chance to relax. You know what I'm saying? We're not going somewhere from a restaurant to another place, and we have a Sprinter van so we can indulge in all the alcohol and libations that we want to. and go ahead and drive home safely. So they have dinner planned. I mean, a cook there. They've been driving, everybody hungry. They dressed and ready to go out. And Leticia is still upstairs getting her glam done. Is she for real? Is she the only one that had glam flued out there to do her makeup while she's over here on this couples trip? I didn't see anybody else with glam. And I was like, okay, Leticia, you in Atlanta, you call somebody over. Anyway, they got tired of waiting on her to come down there with her glam done. Glenn went up there to go, hurry her along. And, she's like, tell them to save me some of that jerk chicken. I want some of that. Oh, don't worry. They're not going to eat without us. Meantime, they down there. Latrice is like, let's run it, chefs. Let's go ahead and get this party started. And Maria's like, we're not waiting on Leticia. Leticia is being disrespectful, child. Leticia is over here having glam done while all these people are down here hungry. So, no, we make sure she good, but we about to go ahead and eat. We have things to do. We have plans for the evening. Glam for dinner at the house. Well, they did go out afterwards, but still, like, come on. Come on. Your glam, while you was sitting up there getting an IV drinking champagne, you could have been getting your makeup done then. Child. I don't understand, like, the IV and the alcohol at the same damn time. So, yeah, she comes downtown. She comes downstairs, and Selena and Mike are going to take marital advice from these raggedy ass couples. I'm not going to call Matt and Carrie raggedy, but they got some raggedy tendencies too that they've been dealing with, I guess, since childhood, but we'll get to them. These two people have been married before. And, Mike, I feel like is younger than Selena, but Selena's 50. So they grown as hell. And there's not anything I would want to hear from Latrice and Cliff, and especially not Glenn and Leticia. How are they going to offer advice to anybody? Child. Carrie is complaining. She talking about Matt going to leave her behind. I mean, girl, he shouldn't have had to. You should. If it were me, I would have gladly packed my bags. I would have enjoyed the evening. And, after everyone got back to that daggone house and settled in their rooms, me and my wife would have gone to our comfy hotel, drive on over to our hotel, and in the morning, we would bring y'all some fancy Danishes and some fancy coffees. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, we got these fancy coffees for you and these beautiful Danishes down from the, bakery, Starbucks, wherever you get things. We're going to bring some lattes in here to go with whatever they had going on, and we're going to carry on. But I'll be damned if I sleep on a musty pull-out couch that's not even a room. It's like, an extra walkway or something. I don't think that was supposed to be a room for anything. That was just tacky. The Airbnb, whoever owns that house, they tried it, talking about extra sleep. That is not the 6th room. So, yeah, Matt never said he was trying to go nowhere without Carrie, but Carrie's in her feelings, and she's been in her feelings. They've been going back and forth for a while, and it all kind of, accumulated here at this daggone vacation getaway. I want to know, Glenn, this is when Tisha came down. Tisha, we were just giving marital advice to Selena and Mike. Do you have any words, And she was like, oh, yeah, I forget what she said. Some mumbo jumbo, some nonsense. Anyway, Carrie asked Leticia, she said, can I get a little therapy? What does Glenn do well? We would all like to know, Leticia, what does Glenn do well? And she said, that's easy. That's easy. Glenn is a protector. Is he? How? What is he protecting you from? Him? Because he's out here being careless with his dang-a-lang, and you don't know who he's slinging it into. We know he has a habit, or has been known to, or has a history of putting his peen somewhere, quite possibly producing another child outside the marriage. So what kind of protection is he doing? He's never there. First he was there, wasn't there, then he is there. So what is he protecting you from? You need protection from him. He protected his money. He protected his money, T said. That's why the last time y'all fell out, you ended up with $4 in your bank account. But okay, now she's saying he's a provider. He is providing what? You cannot have $4 in your bank account talking about when I left Glenn, I didn't have nothing. The way he sat down and had a conversation with his son last episode seemed like they just meeting each other after being long lost from the tugboat that he works on. What are your grades? How are you doing? Do you and your friends play ding dong ditch? Do you know the child? Good grief. But he's a provider, child. And he's a great father. Well, we know better than that. We know better than that. So I don't know, like people be saying stupid shit. Like, even though we have our ups and downs, we still, care and love you. Like the kid don't hear what's going on in the household. He's heard how, Tisha be cussing his ass out about being down to the DMs and the Instagrams and the instant messages and the Facebook messengers and the TikTok. He be in all those places. And that little boy knows what it is. So, yeah, y'all can stop being like, yeah, we have our differences, you and me and your mom do. But, don't worry. We still have your best interests at heart. Really? Nigga, what is your name again? Because I feel like you don't be here. And then when you're here from work, you seem like you be out in these streets down to Taste with Cliff. But we going to take merit advice from them anyway. How do you feel about that, Glenn? Glenn said he blown away. He can't believe she said that shit. And we can't believe it either. But, we kind of do because, like I said, it's the end of the season and Glenn and Leticia are wrapping their storyline up. And so now, it's together forever, bad marriage for life. They googly eyesing at each other. And I guarantee you, when we get to that reunion, I want Carlos to say, did you sign the post-nup? And I bet you there won't be one. I'll eat my hat. Not really, but I'm just saying. I feel like that's not a thing. So the hosts have a party set up at the club. So all these old heads is in this club. It was nice. It was a nice little celebration. I feel like this actually is how you celebrate your friends. You know what I'm saying? And they're friends with these people. They're getting married. It's worthy of celebrating, I suppose. All of the nonsense that Selena is doing is, like I said, nonsense pretty much. But, they're celebrating Mike and Selena. They're down to the club. And after they leave, Carrie is mad. She's trying to shame Matt. They in the Sprinter. She's trying to shame him for saying he's going to get a hotel room. And I wouldn't even have no more conversation about that. So, as far as I'm concerned, yeah. When we get back to this room, we're going to pack up our bags and we're going to see about this luxury spot that I have rented for us. Yes, I seen Cliff dancing. Cliff is having a good time. He's having the best time out of anybody, I feel like. Mike just standing there. Mike has been in this whole scene. Now, every scene, he says nothing. He just sits there and, doesn't say anything. Whew, child. Sometimes water tastes so good. You ever just taste water, you be like, wow, that's the best water I've ever had. That's when your body know it needs some, I've been drinking Arizona iced tea. My body's like, girl, drink some water. Anyway, this ain't about me. This just made me nauseous. You said the people say that's the club Tamar and Funky was at. Oh yeah? Well, I mean, they in Atlanta, child. We don't know where at, but it's cool. And the guy came in, Latrice said he's her friend. But Latrice is a restaurant person and she's an entrepreneur. So she probably does have connections, you know what I'm saying, in Atlanta. So, yeah, we can tell that the parts that Glenn picked this tacky ass area. Okay, is it just me? Is this Airbnb tacky as hell or am I just being bougie? Hola, como está, Lotus Egyptian Flower? We just over here talking about the Bell Collective and how I don't like this Airbnb because it's got dusty, stinking, sour smelling furniture. You would think I've been there. Anyway, this is how we're going to wrap the season, with the premiere couple. This is, something honestly we never had to see, but here we are. Glenn and Letitia and their lovely romantic scene. And they, talk about how Glenn says how he was in his feelings and he let his feelings get the best of him. And he, wants nothing from her monetarily. And he wants to see her have all the things she needs. And she's slang her leg up there on that bedpost and she was like, I just don't need you trying to control me. I don't want you to tell me that I have to do things because you say, ew. I don't want you to have to. Don't make me break character. I'm in the middle of my love scene, T. I'm being Letitia. Don't try to control me and tell me like I have to do things because you're my husband. And what we're gonna do is break in this new uh, bug infested mattress down to this tacky Airbnb, and we're gonna bump and grind all over this tacky ass leather headboard. Ew. Ugh. Anyway, congratulations. Congratulations to the Pearsons, as a matter of fact, because they have just celebrated their 23rd anniversary. What you say? I know a TV marriage when I see one. I don't even watch the show. Girl, this is what they do. They come to the beginning of the show talking about his infidelities and how she's not going to take it anymore and how she's a big boss that does brunches and empowerments and things. And she don't need Glenn interfering in her financial independence. And then they fight all throughout the season. And then at the end, they usually have some type of thing where he sings to her, writes poetry for her, plans a wedding for her. This time, we gonna smash down to this nasty Airbnb. Ew. But in real time, what you say, Glenn was saying, whatever to get the draws. Yes, and she's more than willing to give it to him, and and he'll just go home and get some more different draws. Um, let me see. They just celebrated their anniversary in real life. His mama is leaving and he's upset. I get it. You know how it is when your mama gotta leave and then you don't want her to leave. Tamika used to do that. Oh, T used to throw a full on fit when her mama left. Oh, that's another story for another time. But she sounds much like my grandson running around here like he ain't never go see his mama again. So here they are. It's their anniversary. Leticia looks stunning. I can't not say, like, I don't know who has been styling her, but she looks absolutely beautiful in this photo. It's a beautiful color. Her wig is wigging, makeup, if this is the same person she flew out to Atlanta, I don't know, but she looks amazing. I just want to know why they're standing in front of this empty, decrepit wishing well. You can't make no wishes right here. This wishing well is a representation of their marriage. 23 years later, still standing, still growing, still choosing us. Happy anniversary to us. I mean, I guess bad marriage for life. Child, they look good. She looked good. He got on a nice suit, but he's a butterface. And here they are walking because Glenn likes to he likes to wear his sunglasses at all times and those satin shirts. Anyway, like I said, Leticia looks beautiful. And yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that daggone. Yes, you did. She said no, she didn't. Yes, you did. I'm not sure about this daggone water fountain for wishing well. Why y'all stand in front of a wishing well? I wonder why people make the decisions that they make when they take a picture. You know what I mean? You see people on the internet with the dirty laundry all over everywhere. I would have walked over there and been like, "There's no water in it. Let's go take take a picture somewhere else." She looks too pretty to be standing in front of that empty wishing well. But like I said, the empty wishing well seems like a representation of their marriage. That's all I have to say about that. Anyway, the next morning, Leticia was down to the kitchen cooking. Carrie and Matt decided to stay. Let me back up. Carrie and Matt decided to stay in his bed. His feet don't even reach. His feet are hanging off the bottom of the bed. And it doesn't, I mean, Matt was a professional baseball player. So I'm thinking he's probably not this tiny little guy. You know what I'm saying? Ugh, I couldn't lay on that. I'm sorry. They at the mall. Is the mall still open? Because the mall's supposed to have water in its wishing well. Ugh, another wish on a penny. Where are they going to put it? Put it in Glenn's pocket because that's where he keeps all the pennies away from Leticia. Carrie, now her back is hurting. I wouldn't have done this. Like, I don't know what she feels like she needs to prove to these girls. I would have felt no ways about it, child. Like I said, I would have brought these heifers some Danishes and they would get over it, but I would not sleep in that. Take one for the team. Why am I taking one for the team? What? Latrice and Leticia, first of all, she put them in that room together because they were on the out. So she called herself trying to make them mend their relationship. And here they are together, having happy couples switching days and things. But y'all had a whole bed. You know what I'm saying? And y'all rich bitches could have gone to stay somewhere else too. I'm not staying nowhere that's dusty and staunchy like that. I'm sorry. I would have had to go to Target to get some damn covers to put on the other beds. That was so nice of Matt. Then she treated him like shit. She did. But I think her issues are from another place. You know what I'm saying? I don't get it. I think she's just mad at Matt and Carrie, dude. Like his mama said, she is not tamed. And his mama ain't tamed either. And I feel like maybe Matt is a bit of an antagonist because he likes to see her all worked up like that. That way he gets to come across like everybody, you know how they do. Everybody gonna be like, ooh, Matt, this lady is too much. You need a break. Whole time Matt is over there setting up secret meetings so his mama can come ambush Carrie. So yeah, he asked her was she about to go cook. She hates that. Anytime he mentions any type of domestic things, that pisses her off. So yeah, she was over here. She's stressed out. She still wants to talk about that restaurant. But when she said that she's 7 days away from having to close, I understand her frustration. She probably like, she's here because this is work too. But she probably rather not be. And then here they got her on a sofa bed. And if she doesn't suck it up, you know how they like to conspire to get people thrown off. And right now she need this check because she got some bills to pay. Whew, now I'm stressed. They down in the kitchen. And never have I ever. No wonder why Leticia Pearson is so damn swollen. She over here frying sausage in a pot of oil. I have never seen anyone fry up some sausage in a pot of oil like that. I'm like, is she for real? No wonder why Glenn be out on the tugboat. She be over there trying to fill him up with grease. Ugh, I've never seen that before. That made me sick. I was like, they're going to bite into that sausage and then oil is just going to gush out of it. Y'all already knew she couldn't cook. I didn't know it was that bad, girl. I did not know it was that bad. I have never seen anything like that. Even Marie Monroe, who only drinks Cokes, know better than that. And Carrie was like, I'm not about to I'm not about to cook shit. Y'all put me on a sofa bed in that fucking cubby hole. Excuse my French. Now you want me to come down here and cook? I'm not. So, yeah, Selena came along, I guess, to save the day. Why were they cooking in shifts like that? The kitchen was awfully tiny, so I guess I get it. But breakfast is something that has to be cooked like at a certain, the timing got to be right. You can't cook one thing and cook another thing one at a time. The food gonna be cold. Yes, child. She had the sausage in a pot full of grease, like she was frying chicken. I have never seen anything like that. And she flipping it around with a fork. She probably cooked the bacon in the oil too. Ugh. Child, She bring her another IV because she gonna need a couple few of them things. Time she eat all that. They ate it too. Now I slept on the sofa bed and I'm eating greasy bacon. It's already greasy. They must be based in Alabama, close to Mississippi. They in Jackson. Woo, child. So they're in the kitchen and Latrice, oh, before that, Latrice and Cliff was laying up in their room making judgments about people's marriage. I was like, I know you're not talking about how some people, show one face on the outside and then their marriage be. I don't think Carrie and Matt's marriage is in no damn shambles. I think they're having money problems and yeah, and it's all coming to fruition right now. He switched his job. Like there's been a lot of things that have transpired, and he keeps sicking his mother on her. His mother be, you know what I'm saying? They both be out of line, both of them. But his mother be calling her crazy and a clown. She calls her all kind of names, and he doesn't say anything, which I think triggered her in this kitchen. He let his mama call her all kinds of crazy names. He doesn't stop them. Then she responds. Now they're going back and forth. And you're like, okay, Carrie, that's his mother. But, his mother be coming for her crazy. So he doesn't stop it. He doesn't say, you're not about to call my wife crazy or clown. He doesn't do that. He just goes, y'all. And I hate that. I hate it when somebody is out of pocket and then the person in the middle says, y'all. What do you mean, y'all? Get your mama. So, you know what I'm saying? And you talk about the mama over there talking about you don't cook and you don't be here and nobody wants to hear any of that shit. Matt, get your mother. So then Latrice comes in here and she's like, I'm going to separate everyone. We've got different activities for the men and the women because Matt, Matt wants to get away from you. And he didn't step up. He did not say, no. Even though Carrie has been doing way too much, he let it ride. He laughed at her. And I think she took it super, super personal because she is very fragile right now at this vacation. Carrie and her mother-in-law is cut from the same cloth. Yeah, but I mean, Matt has to make it. You know what I'm saying? He's the one, so he needs to check his mama because she be doing the most. And then here come Carrie doing even more. So they both be like, he needs to make that stop because it's very unhealthy. And I mean, God dogs, they've been doing that. Their mama been doing that to her all these years. She been dealing with that mama in that mouth. Whew. Maybe I guess we'll see. Anyway. Let me just catch up, child, because I was running my mouth. We didn't talk about the separate activities. Carrie is on edge, and so she dismisses herself from the kitchen. She walked off, and what's her name? Latrice followed behind her, and she was asking her like, "What's going on?" You said it was a funny joke. Carrie's being too dramatic. I think she is too dramatic, but I think she's just like, she said it. She admitted it. She said, Latrice asked her what's wrong. And she said she is just misplaced anger. And, she's dealing with all of that stuff that's going on. She's literally 7 days away from having to close her business. So, yeah, she was doing too much. She was being dramatic, but yeah, she admitted that she was, mad about some other things and just stressed out. And I think Matt is like, how when you already mad and somebody is joking around and you take it different, it hits your feelings different. That's why she should have took her ass to that damn hotel and relaxed. You know what I'm saying? This is your fault, Carrie. You should have left with your husband. You over here trying to impress these girls, talking about take one for the team. You and Matt could have went to that hotel room with a lovely view and discussed some of these things that's got you stressed out. Yeah, she took accountability. I was proud of her for saying that too. When she started breaking it down, it made more sense because up until now, I'm like, what the hell, Carrie? I really liked you, but you was getting on my nerves. But that definitely puts things into perspective. And just, all of those things on top of that. Now the mama coming with the land and, you know, what is the responsibility? Because she did say something about paying taxes on that land. So I feel like, Matt, if you're going to be doing whatever it is you're doing over there with your mother and her land down in wherever the hell it is, Mississippi, um, it can't be causing us financial, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm not a part of it. So that's a whole nother conversation. Anyway, I understand her pressure and yeah, 7 days. I've been under pressure for far less. And it have your stomach tore up. You think you got the daggum lettuce disease and it just be stress, child. Um, Latrice asked her, like, do you think y'all are growing apart? And I'm like, girl, you and Cliff growing apart. You said at the end of the day, everyone, including her mama, told her to let that restaurant go. She is unnecessarily stressing herself out. I mean, you ain't gonna let it go until you're ready, especially when you invested your money. So I think now the thing is it's like the deals went through and she gonna be, responsible for all the bills. That's what happens like when you have a business. It's a risk, that's for damn sure. Sounds like she took a big risk. The land belongs to the siblings too, so he should be paying the taxes. Yeah, but I feel like that's part of her issue. There's some more to that story as far as that land is concerned. And who's paying the taxes? You know what I'm saying? Is it just him because he used to be a professional athlete? You know how a lot of times them siblings be trying to reap the benefits of things and then not putting in the work. So we'll see. I still think it's a blessing. You know what I'm saying? You have some land, you need to make sure it's making you some money. You can't just be sitting there, you know, and you paying taxes on it and that's it. Um, Carrie says she's never going to be a traditional wife, and Matt Ben knew that. And that's the thing. I think that, she doesn't think that's funny. She doesn't think that's funny. You said if the land was set up like ours, the land uh, has nothing to do with the in-laws. I don't know how it's set up, child. I do not know how it's set up. I know it is a point of contention in this marriage right now, especially and I feel like, the father just passed away and Carrie is on some, it ain't her land anyway. They wasn't married. That relationship between Carrie and her mother-in-law goes beyond whatever this is. Anyway, I don't think they're growing apart. I think Cliff and Latrice should stop chomping at the bit with their discussion of other people's marriage, especially when we know what's really tea over there. I don't care how much Cliff comes over here and acts like he's a changed man. We know he is not. Wasn't but a couple of seasons ago where he had Latrice yacked up in the parking lot, so calling her bitches. We didn't forget. Anyway, next week, Carrie and Maria are at it again. I feel like Maria's just determined not to like Carrie, but I said it before and I'll say it again. Maria Monroe does not really care for the light skins, and so Carrie, she ain't never really gonna see it for you, I don't think. Mike does not want to write wedding vows, and Selena's all in her feelings. She thinks that maybe he has something to hide. I mean, it could be a baby, but I think he doesn't really care about any of this. These, you trying on 40 dresses and all of that stuff probably sounds silly to him. But Mike, how you not gonna write some vows? Like y'all are having a wedding. That doesn't make sense. They're not growing apart. It's just one of them seasons. Yes, that's how I feel. They have not once, even when he showed up to the house, Carrie ran up to him and threw her legs around him like she was like, I'm my man is here. So they still have that energy towards each other, and I feel like she genuinely felt that way, like her savior, her protector, her provider. Oh no, that's Glenn. And we get to see Selena's big day. It looks like she chose green dresses. Green is my favorite color, so I think I'm gonna like that. And we don't know. They did go down the aisle. They married now, child. So we don't know if there's a baby. That's next season. But what does Selena have now? You know, she's got new teeth and a husband. So what does she have? What is she bringing to the table? Everybody is not good with their words. He barely talks. It's true. You talk about Mike, he really is a man of few words. And then to get in front of everyone and have to do that, I mean, I guess, child. He's getting married to a bridezilla. I feel for him. So on to the next. These housewives of Atlanta. Child. After us, what's this girl? What is it? Was season 17 episode? I don't know. I said E, so I never got to the number. Um, they're getting towards the end, so I feel like they're about as episode 15 or 16. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go. We've been over here for a long time. After Shamia blew up the situation, she blew up the spot down to the dinner table last week. Now everybody's moving on to this party to go party. We celebrating Phaedra, child. I don't know what birthday it is, but we doing the damn thing over here for her birthday. And so we got kilts and things on. But before we got to the party, where they at? Little Mama and Shamia. Did I not? Child, let me go find Kelly. She was sitting there talking to Kelly. Because, you know, she's in her feelings about what happened. You said, oh Lord, they make me want to drink. The housewives. You know, I came over here and I said, I'm not going to take this as anything but entertainment. These people are actors and I'm not taking any of this mess seriously. And I'm going to stick with that because I can't find it. Here, I thought I was doing a daggone thing and apparently I was not. Anyway, Shamia was having a conversation with Kelly and she's sitting up here crying. You know, she's in her feelings because, you know, it's very hard, she said, to confront someone that you once loved, somebody that you once cared about. Shamia, this is getting on my nerves. You and Portia don't give a damn about each other, and y'all haven't for a very long time. I don't know what kind of relationship with this, but it's not a friendship. You know what I'm saying? I'm both of y'all are full of shit. She says I'm always careful of other people's feelings, even if it hurts mine. Everybody is tired of the victim. Nobody believes that Shamia is a victim. Now, two things can be true at the same time. These ladies are over here piling up on her, and for no reason other than because, you know, they're Team Portia, which is irritating. You know what I'm saying? But Shamia is over here making Portia her storyline. And if she should have said fuck Portia a long time ago. And maybe she would be, you know, further. She says she keeps things bottled up. She doesn't. I mean, she does to some extent. She keeps things bottled up because the person that she should be talking to, this person that she wants to rebuild this friendship again with, the sisterhood with, she don't talk to Portia. She lets Portia think, and this is from the past because they ain't even really been talking to each other. She lets Portia think that everything's cool. Then she goes talks to everybody else about her real feelings, and then, you know, that's what gets her into trouble. She said that she was hoping they could rebuild back to their sisterhood. Girl, y'all ain't had no sisterhood. But she was like, but you know, that's not gonna happen. And so I'm good on her. Okay. But you're not. That's the thing. She's not good on Portia. She's still very much, you know, focused on Portia. She should have came in here, I feel like, with that energy. Because Shamia says she knew, and then Kenya talked about it, that she knew that she came to Portia, and Portia said, this is my thing. You have all these great things going on. I just want to have this thing. She said Portia was cool as long as she was a friend of, but she did not want her to have a peach. But I'm like, first of all, you have a peach. Second of all, she did not need Portia to get the peach. She should be paying her dust. Exactly. The point at which I tell my friend I have an opportunity and they want to block my blessings, I feel differently about the friend now. Because a real friend is not going to do that. A real friend would never say some dumb shit like, this is my thing and you got all these things, let me just have this. Girl, what? But that's a testimony to the kind of person that Portia is. So if that was the case, then you should have been like, fuck Portia a long time ago. Kandi got you on the show. You know what I'm saying? You said, your husband didn't want to do it. And he's probably like, this is why I came on this damn show. And now everybody's saying my wife is fucking everybody, from football to basketball to down to the fat man with the green beard. If she just lived her fabulous life, it would have been drive Portia nuts. And okay, so last season, she comes in, because I feel like both Portia and Shamea are full of shit. Last season, Shamea came in, and I think she came in with the intention of trying to get people to pick her over Portia. You said Shamea brought up the mother. She needs to take accountability, and that didn't even make sense, to be honest. Shamea came over here, and her plan was to get people to choose her over Portia. She already was feeling a way that Portia didn't want her over here. These feelings of animosity have been going on for a long time. And if your mama tried to smash my daddy, like, we've been holding on to a lot of stuff for a long time. You know what I'm saying? So this friendship, whatever the hell they got going on here, both of them is full of shit. So she came over to the show, even though Portia said, she didn't want it. And right then was, like I said, fuck Portia. You've already made the decision, and you know how Portia is. Y'all have known each other for a very long time, and y'all have done a lot of dirt together. Remember when you were over there talking about, your brother-in-law, even though you knew Portia stole that lady's husband? So you come to this show with your bestie Kelly and Britt Eady. Britt went rogue. Britt Eady went rogue, but Britt Eady came over here for her damn self. She didn't care nothing about Shamea, Portia, or any of the rest of these people, or Kenya Moore. She came over here with her bestie Kelly, and Kelly was like, why she steal that lady husband? And Shamea took this role. She played her role like, don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Because she wants to appear to everyone that Portia is my best friend. Don't do that. Kelly goes over to the house, and she asked her, what about that? No, that was Angela. She asked her, why you stole that lady's husband? This is Shamea's bestie. You said you are friends with all of the who's who in Atlanta, not being friends with Portia, who's a friend of. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense, T. I don't know. I think it's just she came over here really because she wanted people to choose her over Portia. I can't think of any other reason. You said if Portia wants to respond on social media, then she can, because the show is on TV. Shamea is going out bad with nothing of her own to show for it. If she would have focused on her own self, she wouldn't be in this situation. So, like I was saying, and I'm back at last season. So she came over here pretending like Portia was just, Portia, I have her back so much and she's just not a good friend. And what did Portia do? Showed up to her party late, really late, kind of tried to steal her shine. Portia wanted to make a grand entrance over there because this was the first episode of the show and blah, blah, blah. Also, Portia didn't have a house. Portia was still fighting with Simon. So this was Shamea's prime opportunity to, give it all she's got. Portia should have been a non-factor in everything that she had going on. Portia was beefing with Drew. Remember Dennis? She was over there trying to, sleep with Dennis and with her baby daddy, and that was her focus. And Shamea was, pretending to support her all the way down to bringing Portia to a dinner meeting with Ralph. Why? Why are we doing that? That's the type of nonsense Shamea was on. So we know she get down and dirty just like Portia do. Portia didn't like Drew, so we're gonna do anything for Portia because we do things for Portia, even if it hurts our own feelings. So that sounds stupid. Portia's not a good friend of anybody. And you know how she moves. So, she did what she did. She went to Angela and she cried about how Portia didn't come to my wedding. Her wedding was 100 years ago. Why are you coming over here making your storyline about Portia? Portia didn't come to your wedding, but you've been married forever. You got 2 kids, and a fabulous life. All these jobs. You weren't a housewife, but you was over here. We already knew you. We didn't even have to get to know Shamea. But, here she go, making Portia her, focus, making Portia the focus of everything. So, yeah, I just feel like Shamea, in the end, it ended up being a blowout. I don't really even know why they bringing up the mamas, because that's stupid. It's just dumb. Like, nobody cares. It's not a reflection on anyone. It doesn't make sense to me. Which is the reason Portia didn't want Shamea on the show. Portia knew their relationship wasn't genuine and was all for show. Yeah. And that's why I would have been like, I don't give a damn. She don't want me on the show, but I'm like T said, I have friends in high places. I don't need you. I want to be on the show. I'm going to be on the show. And she should have focused on her own self. She could have forged relationships with these people. Angela is not to be trusted. She came over there calling her a lapdog, but I feel like Shamea allowed her beef with Portia to get in the way of her relationships with some of these other people. You said she made this competition with Drew, and now Portia and Portia and Drew are besties. Yep. And Portia ain't never stood on business for anybody other than herself. If it's not about her, it's her and Lauren have that same relationship, and that's her real sister. So I think Shamea's on bullshit when she keeps saying, tries to play, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. You're not sorry. You're not sorry. You just like Portia. Both of y'all ain't shit. It's just that, all these people chose Portia, and it's really not a good look because you don't have no friends over here but Kelly. And Kelly about to, you got to pay. She living in your house. It would have been about me partying with my celebrity friends in my huge mansion. She could have had the ladies over for different things because Portia didn't have no mansion to bring people over to. So, yeah, she should have played Portia the same way Portia played her, because when they had that sit down last season and Portia was playing with her silverware and stuff, she wasn't giving a shit about anything that Shamea had to say, because I think in Portia's mind, she was like, I told you not to come over here in the first place. I told you this was going to ruin our relationship. And Portia was hell-bent on making her point. Like, see, I told you. See, I told you it was going to ruin our relationship. So, anyway, I mean, I don't know. Birds of a feather. That's what they say. I know no real friend would stand in the way of you getting your blessings. So if the people asked you to come hold the peach, if my best friend could be anything other than happy for me, then to hell with her. We ain't friends like that. We'll be colleagues. We'll just clock in. And I'll invite you to things and you'll either come or you won't. Shit. Now she over here looking a fool talking about Miss Diane slept. She tried to sleep with my dad. The whole way that conversation came up made no sense whatsoever. Shamea went from, you don't want what's her name, Pilar, to come over to my house. No, I don't. We're not getting along. That's stupid. It doesn't make sense. So you'll be fine. These kids are little. I don't F with you. You don't F with me. And our kids don't have to F with each other. Please stop trying to act like Dennis and what's that man's name? Gerald are such great friends. Gerald and Dennis both got shit to do besides hang out with each other. It ain't that serious. It was very left field. And from that to, you brought my mother up on the internet. And at the end of the day, Portia said Shamea's mother bought the daycare. Who in the hell cares? None of us even think that's a big deal. If Miss Diane can't keep her business, then why in the world wouldn't I go ahead and purchase it? Why did I care? You know what I'm saying? When exactly did but Diane did that? She did what? Oh, she tried to sleep with her daddy. She might have. I feel like both of them was out in these streets because birds of a feather. Just like Shamia and Portia be humping on each other all the time, but nobody's gay. Well, Portia's gay. So now Shamia humps on Kelly. I don't have a single friend that when I hang out, we hump on each other. That's just not something that I do with my friends. And my gay friends don't do it either. My gay friends are not out in these streets, humping on each other. It's weird. Anyway, to each his own. If Miss Diane tried to sleep with her daddy and this whole thing with the daycare is going on, this animosity has then been going on. Why would why would Shamia's mother want to continue to pursue a relationship with Portia's mama if she tried to sleep with her husband? Lauren's mom has never been seen ever on this show, ever. Oh boy. And based on the way Lauren is so calm, I would be curious to see what her mother is like. Probably probably more real, not like these two. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, I feel like the animosity has always been over there. You bringing up the mamas, now everybody is looking at you like, what the hell? What does that have to go with anything? That was definitely not a shot at Portia. You misdirected your shot, and then now everybody looking at you like, whoa, we're not doing that. We would never say anything about my mother. Now they looking at you crazy. That's when she brought her daycare after she tried to sleep with her husband. I feel like if you try to sleep with my husband, I owe you one. So there's that. They go to this club after after the dinner. I've been on a tangent about back in the day. They go to this club after dinner, and like I said, Shamia fell back. She didn't want to. She had to pull herself together, and they're dancing and they're having a good time. And it was Black Night at the club in Scotland. They went in the club and there was a whole bunch of us in there. They had a good old time. And K. Michelle was singing and Drew was singing and everybody was getting along. And here comes Shamia and the whole vibe got killed. You said, I think that's why they're not cool now, but the girls remain friends. But okay. I feel like though, when she was on Carlos's show, Shamia, she said they weren't friends. She said their mothers were friends and they ran across each other. And in Atlanta, I'm gonna tell you, when you're in entertainment and you audition for things, the people run across each other all the time. I've seen people at music videos and soap opera auditions and auditions for bands and groups and all that stuff. They be around. I feel like they've been in competition, because Shamia been dancing and singing and doing all the things. Shamia, she has her own sister. She said Portia was her sister's friend at first. So they weren't cool like that. Then she said after Portia got a divorce from Cordell is when they kind of rekindled. And that's because Portia is back outside and the girls was outside. And I feel like Shamia was the one that knew all the people. You know what I'm saying? So it was beneficial to Portia to hang out with Shamia after she divorced Cordell, because she was over there being a Christian straight, wife and talking about how the gays are wrong. And now she over here with a whole girlfriend. But I digress. Anyway, that's when they got to be friends. So I don't know. I feel like their friendship was based on access to things. Both of them. Yeah, because Shamia called everybody best friend. Hey, best friend, this is my best friend. So you can't take her seriously either. Like you keep saying Portia was your best friend, but it seems like everybody is her best friend. So anyway, she gets to this club and everybody bounced. Everybody didn't bounce. They shot it in a way that they wanted us to believe that. But now all the girls are coming back saying they were still there. So Shamia came in the room, and Portia definitely dismissed herself. Probably because she wanted to swing on her. I don't know, but I don't know what energy Shamia was expecting to receive from these ladies after she just sat at that table talking about people's mamas. And she said, I said what I said, and then Portia went to hell. No, you went to hell first, Shamia. You started it with your mama tried to sleep with my daddy, and then here come Portia with your mama tried to sleep with, your daddy's brother. And I don't know about that. I think Portia be saying shit. Shamia needs to read a dictionary before she uses words. Maybe, child. Um, Portia thought she ran her away. The nerve of her showing up at the party. I think so too. I think Portia was like, why is she here? I can't be here. But it worked to her advantage. I mean, at the end of the day, after the whole festivities was over, we don't know how long it was that they stayed there, but by now, they've been out all night anyway. And Portia separated herself. Then she left. So when she left, Cynthia and Phaedra and Drew went with her. Who was left? No, Cynthia didn't go because it was Cynthia, Pinky, Angela, K. Michelle, and Kelly were all still there with her. And she sit up there like, they left during my song. I'm like, there's 5 people still here. So what are you talking about? You said the other lady should have stayed out of it and keep partying. Drew and Angela, come on. The way they're up Portia's ass. Angela, you should be so embarrassed. You caping behind Portia that said she would F Charles. And she still might, depending on what she got going on. Because that's the type of woman she is. To say your own mother is going to hell is going to stay low. No, she didn't say her mother was going to hell. She said, Shamia said Portia went to hell. She said, I said what I said, and then Portia went to hell when Portia said that Shamia's mama was sleeping with her uncle. But I'm like, girl, you started that. She didn't go to hell. Y'all was in hell already. Y'all were in hell already. It was a mess. And so now everybody's feeling away. And they're all looking at Shamia like, Shamia brings this all on herself. She don't bring it all on herself because her beef is with Portia. But y'all have decided to take sides, and it's making things look uncomfortable for everybody. Everybody's out here. Shamia, are you gonna be okay, girl? Anyway, they was in this club singing. I guess they had a good time. I feel like Shamia takes every opportunity to woe is me herself. And it's irritating. Hey, high vibe. It's irritating because you got 5 people sitting in front of you and you're like, everyone left. And they're like, bitch, we're still sitting here. What are you talking about? Do we want to keep partying or not? They gone. And I'm glad Shamia came. She was supposed to come. You were supposed to come, girl. Stand in business. What's she doing? Apologizing. If you dropped a bomb, you destroyed the friendship. And that's what I'm saying, T. I was like, you said it now. You said it. I don't know why she chose then to say it, but it didn't make sense. So she's sitting up here, apologizing, child. And it's irritating. I'm like, don't apologize no more, girl. We do not want to hear it. So they back at the crib. And you like, Candy, I said what I said. Don't make me drag you up in this bitch. So Portia has a phone call, no, she ain't FaceTime. She just talking to her. She has a call with Lauren. She had to call Lauren and tell Lauren what this heifer said about her mama. Lauren was pretty much like, y'all know a lot about each other. And it's just going to be really super messy if y'all get over here and start blasting on each other like that. She's like, wow, that's crazy. That y'all would even say things like that to each other. And I think Portia was like trying to get Lauren to co-sign. And she was really like, this girl knows a lot about you. Y'all know a lot about each other. So it's, nothing but nasty from here. And she's trying to trigger you. And I was like, she was definitely trying to trigger her. She was definitely trying to bring out Hennessy, Portia. And so, because, just because of the way how the conversation was brought up, it would be different if they were having a discussion about it. And her saying, "Oh, your mama bought my mama's daycare." Who cares? I don't even feel like that's just a fact. That's just a fact. That's not tea. That's not, nothing disparaging her character. It's just the absolute truth. That's what had happened. Your mama bought her mother's daycare. So, how her, trying to get with your daddy fell in the conversation, I do not know. Lauren told her not to fall for the bait. So far, she's been doing a good job. Lauren wasn't co-signing nothing. She knows Portia. She's right. Lauren has mastered the art of placating Portia's emotions, but not falling for her bullshit. So yeah, I appreciated that conversation. She's like, please don't take the bait. Please don't be over there in Scotland fighting, and we don't know like how, whether we could get you out of jail or how that's gonna work. So I feel like the fact that she was in another country is the reason why she has kept her composure. Because had she been in Atlanta, that might have ended differently. Portia's mama was losing the daycare anyway. Somebody had to buy it. Right. And so, right. And I think she was well within her rights to buy it. But I'm saying bringing that up, saying your mother bought my mother's daycare as if it's, it happened. But to follow that up with your mama tried to sleep with my daddy, that don't match. That don't go together. So it's like, girl, what is wrong with you? And like I said, it only like made her look bad. It didn't make Portia look no type of way. Whew. Here I go, yawning in front of this light. Um, Cynthia blaming Shamea is wild though. The way they're putting all the blame on Shamea, like I feel like they know Portia too. So them acting like they don't know, that there's two sides to this story and making Shamea the blame for everything is because Shamea is the blame for that. That particular situation, yes, that wasn't out of pocket. But there's been other situations. Why aren't we talking about Angela over here? Like, keep saying that Shamea is sleeping with everybody, and that lady said it's not true. Why we just blew right past that? Um, Girl, destiny swapping. Nobody's trying to destiny swap with Portia. That sounds stupid. That sounds absolutely stupid. That sounds like narcissists and therapy and all the other stuff that people be saying. Does she even know what destiny swap means? Nobody wants to live in Portia's shoes, child. She's one of the most confused people walking on the planet. And what does Shamea want from Portia? What would Shamea want from Portia? To me, that's why this shit is so weird to me, to be honest. Because why is Shamea so attached to this friendship? It doesn't make any sense. Portia, Drew, Pinky, K. Michelle, and Angela, they at their house while Phaedra went on a trip to a cemetery. So the plan was to visit the spa at the house, but the spa was raggedy, so they just ended up sitting around talking shit about Shamea, really. Cynthia is very disappointing because Cynthia is the one person who could remain neutral. You know what I'm saying? I don't understand. Maybe Cynthia don't like Shamea too, but I don't feel like she needs to be team Portia. Just stay neutral. When they be having team this and team that, it takes away from the show. Just be real, and it will be so much easier. Cynthia has no reason to be beefing with anybody, and be direct. Tell Shamea, girl, stop apologizing. If you want to talk to Portia, talk to Portia. Say it like it really is, because she does. You can see it in her face. Shamea is physically affected every time Portia walks in the room. You can see the energy. Anyway, the spy was the bus. Phaedra goes to goes to a cemetery, child, because she likes dead things. Back at the house, with the girls are sitting around the hot tub. Drew and K Michelle have a pleasant moment. Thank God, because them fighting with each other is annoying as hell. It just doesn't make sense. You said because the friendship is the tool Shamia is using to get to celebrity status. Everybody's not meant to be celebrity, and I think that's part of the problem too. So, Shamia has all the things except the personality that she might be fun in person and nice and all that, but that whole thing, that star quality, she don't have it. And it's kind of weird because girl, you do have everything. You do have everything else. Cynthia started the mess with PJ when she told Portia Shamia was still seeing PJ. Portia threatened Dennis to stop bringing her over there. Yes, Portia, relayed the message a little different than Cynthia had, but at the end of the day, um, I probably would have said the same thing. I don't mess with her. Stop bringing her over to her house like that because I don't know. Shamia, she if somebody is envying you that much behind the scenes, it's a little concerning. Um, so weird. They at the house talking about Shamia. Portia claimed she was ready to make amends. Girl, stop. No, you wasn't. No, you wasn't. And Portia has been being very passive aggressive this whole season towards Shamia because she knows that she's very bothered. Shamia wants to be included in things. And it's funny because Shamia said on Carlos's show that Portia was friends with her sister. They were the cool girls. Shamia has probably always wanted to be one of the cool girls too. Portia has the star quality and Shamia has the money. They both want what the other has. I don't know that Portia wants what Shamia has. I think she may envy the fact that, Shamia grew up with a two-parent household because, Lauren got that and Portia didn't. But I think Portia, to me, is just somebody who needs to be the center of attention all the time. She doesn't want anybody else to have a moment. Even for Phaedra's birthday, she was like, girl, she almost outshines, she basically did outshine Phaedra. And I'm sure that's not hard for Portia to do. But yeah, I think Portia just needs the spotlight to be on her all the time. She doesn't, and she doesn't want to share the spotlight with somebody like, I told you not to come over here. She feels like she has some type of power over Shamia's position. They be aligning themselves to do, and I think that's what Cynthia is, where her Hollywood is coming from. She's over there with this podcast now, and I think, they be hedging who's gonna be chosen to go on these spin-off shows, which, they doing their round the world tour right now. Cynthia is definitely one of those people that will be chosen to do. She's already done Girls Trip. So, they be aligning themselves according to who gonna take me somewhere. And I don't see Shamia getting invited to go nowhere because she doesn't do well, on television. She might do well in friendships, but especially if she's saying sorry all the time. She's out here, being, a martyr. Um, I think she's fighting a losing battle trying to, win these ladies over because like I said, they're already hedging, trying to figure out what they got coming up the pipe. Shamia asked Phaedra, they were into Spencer going back home from the cemetery visit, and she asked her how was parenting with Apollo. And Phaedra said they talk when they need to. Like they're not, socializing. They're not friends. They're not like Candy going on vacations and stuff together, which is stupid, but that's a whole nother subject. Um, she asked her how was dating, and Phaedra said, I really didn't. Everybody was like making a big deal out of this. She said, I really didn't. She said, I only had two boyfriends in the last 7 years. And they're like, Cynthia's like, not the way she dresses. And I'm like, she didn't say she didn't have sex with anybody. She didn't say she was celibate or abstinent. She said she only had two boyfriends. And I mean, honestly, I believe that. Phaedra is a busy woman. You said no one wants to see Shamia on any show. I don't like her YouTube channel. I haven't watched her YouTube channel. She just doesn't, have that star quality. It's unfortunate. She's beautiful. She should just keep doing what she was doing. When she was doing the hosting on V103, she has a good radio voice and all of that. She just wants to be, everybody want to be Beyonce, child. Don't nobody want to be Michelle. Sorry. She's Michelle. She's Michelle. And Portia's Beyonce. No commitment to anyone. You talk about who? Portia or Cynthia? I don't know. Anyway, I know these ladies ain't right making this lady cry and apologize all the time. Anyway. Oh, Shamia, you did it to yourself. Now I sound like Cynthia. Um, yeah, Cynthia doesn't believe her. I do. I think, first of all, dating is not fun. Most people don't really like to date. And I think, she's had Phaedra has no commitment to anyone. Yeah, that's not easy to find. I don't think that's easy to find, especially the older you get. Damn, she's not even Kelly. No, child, she's Michelle. Nope, she's not. I think Kelly would be Phaedra because Phaedra's the only one over here, getting a big old check for doing not nothing but changing clothes in her confessional. Um, so it's Phaedra's birthday, and they're, from the cemetery back to the house, and Portia has this dinner planned for um Phaedra's final, I guess it's the final. Can we leave? Have we been in Scotland for a long time now? So they got all dressed up. Everybody looked good, except Phaedra. Phaedra, she has this Dolly Parton wig on. I don't know what's happening here. Cynthia looks great. Pinky looks really good. That's the best I've seen Pinky look like since she got on here. Shamia, I didn't like her outfit either. And then she had on some gold or silver boots. Like, Shamia's tacky. She's always a mess. She got all that money. She don't know how to dress. Her and Kelly, they are best friends. Are they giving each other fashion advice? That's unfortunate. Portia looked amazing. Portia looks like the birthday girl. Because that's what Portia does. She plans on having more attention from the room than even the birthday girl. Especially after dealing with Apollo's mess, she was better off just dating with no commitments. I agree. Everything that she had to do with Apollo, she got those kids, those young men over there. Phaedra has been doing the damn thing. Like she got money. Nobody ever talks about Phaedra being broke. You know what I'm saying? And I think Phaedra really does be socializing with the white people. She was walking around that cemetery with her arm. That man. Tell me more about the people, the serial killer. This looked like her dynasty outfit. I was like, oh, Dolly Parton in the room, child. But everybody looks nice. So, I said Portia is a Pop Tart. That's funny. So they're going back down memory lane, and it's a toast to Phaedra for her birthday, and Cynthia actually gave a really nice, eloquent speech, and it was authentic. Just talking about how they met each other, how long they've been to working on this franchise together. She gave Phaedra her kudos for being a hustler because she's a hustler, baby. That's for damn sure. Um, so yeah, she gave a really nice speech about maybe they had a bumpy start and how they are now, so they can have respect for one another without being friends with each other. Um, yeah, okay, Michelle said that. I believe it. I believe it. I believe that's why her money up. You know what I'm saying? Because she socializes in rooms that Angela Oakley don't be in. I'm just saying. Anyway, Cynthia's lovely speech was followed up by Portia's speech, which seemingly was written to take shots at Shamia. She sat up there, pouring it on how Phaedra was just like always been there for her, and the frick and the frack of it all, and blah blah blah. She just was really taking digs at Shamia in her speech about Phaedra. And I'm like, why is this friendship so important to Shamia? Because here you are again, looking a fool. You in your confessional talking about she didn't even go to her wedding. They're not even real friends. Kelly, they're not even on Instagram together. No, I don't. I mean, we saw that when Phaedra when Portia went over Phaedra's house and them kids was like, hello, like they don't know each other. Um, I would say they don't trust each other. Phaedra is smart enough to keep Portia out of her damn business. So they have a working relationship. And they had a conversation about how this shit would work when they came over here. Even like in the confessionals, Phaedra throws subtle shade about Portia being a hoe. And yeah, I think they're not friends. Not like how people have a different definition of what friendship might be. It's levels to it. So are they friends for the TV show? Yeah, they're friends for filming. I'm not mad at it. Um, yeah, I'm not mad at it. I don't feel like you need to go on vacations and stuff together. They're not those kinds of friends. So yeah, that speech was a whole lot. Um, Portia's a shitty friend, so yeah, I'm not sure. But I mean, I think they're both shitty friends. I don't even want to just put it on Portia. Portia. I think Portia and Shamia are both like full of shit. Um, I think Shamia came over here with a bad strategy, and if she's gonna stay, she's gonna have to change her strategy. And Portia can't be her focus. She gonna have to pay Portia dust for real. Besides hello and move around, try to build relationships with other people. Right now, she don't have nothing with nobody over here. Her and K Michelle done fell out. K Michelle went tweeting, threatening to spill tea from the ward off her story, and child, I hate these Twitter fights after the fact. Just stick to the damn show. Um, Girl, I would when I gave a damn, I would have went on vacation and visit Simon when I got back. I mean, you mean Gerald visit Simon? Oh, you was going to Africa to visit Simon? What, and take pictures and put it on Instagram? She said Simon and my husband are friends. That's how she needs to live her life. But she's got this weird obsession with Portia. She has a physical reaction when Portia walks in the room. It's sad, girl. It's really sad. I don't be trying to have anybody's back. I just try to say what I see and what I think about what I see. I still don't like the pile up on Shamia. But girl, you whatever your remedy to fix it, just blast people, and then say sorry. That ain't it, girl. Um, where we at? Kelly said they not friends. I'm way ahead of my notes. Oh, Portia gave Phaedra a title for her birthday. It's called the Lady of Glen. That's the kind of shit Phaedra likes. So, yeah, I think, what do you get for a person that has everything? She's got Birkin bags and all of that stuff. So I think that was a cute gift because, yeah, Phaedra said, Phaedra said she got a title and the paperwork to go with it. And even though this was like way before this, I was like, not a pre not a pre stone thrown at Dr. Cheyenne Bryant. She didn't even see that coming. Shots fired. Phaedra didn't even know she was shooting a shot in that direction. So Phaedra starts telling them about the cemetery, and K Michelle gets all emotional because of course she's had all these surgeries and it's made her put her in a position where she's been close to death. And then you still up here asking for more stuff. I don't understand. She said her mother was worried and her son was embarrassed. And he probably had to go to school and listen to all the things being said about K Michelle. So that may have something to do with the strain in her relationship with him. Maybe she just wasn't around. You know, she was one of them traveling mamas doing music in the industry and not present. And we're going to talk about a little bit after this review about what it's like when you're not present in your kid's life. Then Drew got emotional, child. She started thinking about her daddy and how she hasn't visited him at the cemetery. So they heard Drew and her bestie Portia had to take a moment, you know, to walk away. And I was like, that. I thought y'all was saying you wasn't trying to steal Phaedra's shine. Everybody over here having tears, telling their stories. Um, K Michelle, like I said, on one hand is saying she's afraid of death, but she keep laying her ass down on that surgery table. I don't understand. What do you call it? Selective surgery. I don't want to go have surgery when it's an issue. So selective surgery for me is hell no. You said he's still embarrassed because you was talking about laying. Yeah, that's what I said. She over here talking about. K Michelle has spent her whole season in the damn doctor's office. So anyway, Drew comes while Drew and Portia stepped away. Shamia took the opportunity to apologize again. The look on these ladies' faces like, okay, girl, I'm sorry. I didn't mean for things to go that way. And K Michelle asked her, like, so then why did you bring it up? And Shamia said, well, because I've been holding things in. I've just been holding things in for a long time. And then, you know, Pinky is in her confessional, like, you meant what you said, girl. Don't stand on business. Child, you meant what you said. Now you over here saying sorry. Ain't nobody trying to hear that. Um, that was so fake running after Drew like she cares. Yeah, yeah. She just, I don't know. Again, she wants to show attention to everyone just to get up under Shamia's skin. And then she got back to the table and she was like, "What y'all talking about?" And they said yesterday. What happened yesterday? She said, "Oh, okay." She said that twice. Twice they tried to get her, you know, to say something. And twice she was like, "Okay, like, um, yeah, I'm not doing that." I'm not having that conversation about that. You said stop apologizing for your real feelings or keep your mouth shut if you scared. And she's scared. I have a hard time confronting people that I once cared for so much. That ain't nothing. And I would never say that out loud at a dinner table. You know what I'm saying? I can't stand it when friendships break up and then everybody wants to tell all of the secrets. Her response was definitely weak. Shamia is so embarrassing. Dang, Shamia, just 1 week and they turn it on you. We was trying to like, you know, give you a break, but this is just so stupid. It's hard to I hate a fake apologizer. Stop, you know, yeah, stop saying sorry because you're not sorry. You ever see that little girl? I should have pulled her up. Don't say sorry. You ain't no sorry. Don't tell me you love me. I love that little girl. Um, Yeah, so Portia and Drew came back, and then here come the candles, and everybody's celebrating Phaedra. We're dancing around, we're having a great time for Lady Dr. Phaedra, and she's got all her paperwork. So that's how this episode ended. Next week, Shamia has a sit down with K Michelle. It feels like K Michelle's like, girl, what is wrong with you? Why you keep doing that? You know what I'm saying? Focus, she said she doesn't want her friendship or her argument with Portia to define who she is. And she's right, because that's what she's allowing to have happen over here. When she went and did that interview with Carlos, she sat there, Portia, 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 Portia. She did a Watch What Happens Live. She's a good Watch What Happens Live, but she was also boring. It wasn't entertaining. So I don't know what to tell you. When you are witty, it rolls off very easily. It's very natural. When you over here with rehearsed reads and all of that kind of foolishness, it doesn't work to your advantage. And Andy Cohen slipped up and called her Shamina. And I was like, he been calling her Shamina behind her back, because you know how you get used to saying something? He thinks that's funny, I bet. He been calling her Shamina, and he slipped up and called her that last night or the night before. Mike is sitting around, with Portia's family talking about he loves her. Get Mike out of here. We know that's not it. Sorry, Mike, but it seems as though you did not win the race to Portia's heart. And here comes the man with the green beard. They're somewhere in a costume party. Shamia is dressed up like the Avatar. And the man came over there talking about, I don't know what he said because it was loud, but they were saying, okay, so Angela is vindicated? How? I don't know. Anyway, I guess we'll see next week. Shamia is copying Portia's dress. Watch What Happens Live. Okay, let me pull it up. I'll pull it up because we're going to go over here to Instagram anyway. So let me see. Where is it at? She looks good, though. You said, I don't think Angela will be vindicated. I think the guy shows how cringy he is. He's very cringy. He's very cringy. And like I said, this is why Gerald didn't want to go over there, because y'all are going to keep saying his wife is sleeping with all these different people. And that's embarrassing. Let's see. I'm looking for Shamia. Now my computer want to act like it's thinking. Oh, I hate that. Okay, here we go. Shamina. Here she is on Watch What Happens Live. She is wearing this cream dress. She's with that lady. She looks great, though. I don't know. Shamia be doing so much a lot of the times. I feel like it's nice to see her calm it down. It's good that Portia could be an inspiration. Is she wearing gold naked here? That wig is pretty. So yeah, that was her on Watch What Happens Live. Look at how pretty she looks right there. She should hang that picture of her house. She looks gorgeous. Yeah, I don't know, Shamia. You could have been said to hell with Portia. Um, you said Shamia accepting a disgracement nickname from her boss to stay in the show. He called her Shabina. He corrected it, but he definitely said Shabina. So I was like, Andy, not Shamina. So on to the next thing. I've been watching The Next Generation. And child, that Riley is over there doing the most. So Riley, Riley always been a snarky little girl as far as I'm concerned. She's always had this kind of stank ass attitude. And so now as an adult, she's exercising this attitude, and it's not a good look. And Riley is someone who I keep hearing this narrative. They're out there saying she's young and she's just learning herself. And I guess during this time that they were filming, she was finding out about Todd and Candy going through a divorce. So I'm going to give her that she was being under stress. But for her to be over here drinking and behaving like this is not a good look. And this isn't the first time she's done it. She did this same thing last season. You said she was trying to show Portia the real dress. They said Portia had on a fake version. Well, that it was tight to death that Portia had on. Riley was raised by Mama Joyce, so the world is. She definitely has that bad attitude. So Riley is over here under the influence. And I get that. I think that young people get out. She's young. She's 21, 22, however old she is. But Riley is over here making $14,000 tabs down to the bar. She got into it with one of her castmates under the influence. So I'm just going to show you the video. Then we could talk about it. This is Riley over here on Next Generation.
Now, if Kendra don't come and get Riley before I do, Riley, girl, got us out here looking bad.
Look at me. Look at me.
Uh-uh.
Look at me.
No. Nah, if Candy don't come and get Riley before I do, Riley, girl.
So Riley, first of all, accused this girl of being on ketamine. Secondly, she told her she was going, shut up, shut up, shut up. And then she said, I'll pick up this pizza and throw it in your face or hit you in the face with it. And then attempted to do that. Now, Ariana, Kim Zolciak's daughter, they were all like trying to calm her down, get her to drink water. And, I can't stand a belligerent drunk. I cannot stand a belligerent drunk. This is not about her getting, not about her being stressed by what's going on in her life, not about her learning. Riley is violent when she gets under the influence. So maybe she should figure out her limits, especially when she's filming. She looked at this girl and told her, you can't even afford a Birkin. That's the kind of stuff she was saying under the influence. Then she got upset with Ariana, Kim Zolciak's daughter, because she didn't stop it from happening. You want to get out here in these streets, get drunk, show your ass. She told Ava, go get me a drink. Ava was like, please and thank you. You want me to say thank you to you? She was just so, and then honestly, all of those people, except for Georgia, who she was arguing with, all of those people were trying to help Riley, like, get home safely and, not get into any trouble. And she sat up there, and when Candy asked her about it, she said she was triggered. What the hell is on her head? I don't know. I hate that wig. I don't know why she's, I don't know why that's the wig of choice, but child, that's what Riley be walking around there with. You said the white kids will press charges. Yes, she's her antagonist is somewhat, maybe, I don't want to say anti-black. She act like Mama Joyce. Yeah. And I was like, this is not cute. Like, y'all keep giving Riley a pass for, what she's going through. I understand that. I think all young people at one point in time have gotten tipsy, done too much, and their friends were like, girl, you is slosh. We have to get you home. But it's the fact that Riley wants to fight. That doesn't change. Something with Riley and alcohol do not go together. And then Riley has a hard time taking accountability after the fact. When she went over to Ariana's house and pretty much blamed her, you know what I'm saying? Was she not antagonizing me? And Ariana was like, not really, not that bad. You know what I'm saying? When I said what happens when you're not home to raise your children, I feel like, like y'all said, it was left to Mama Joyce. Grandmamas shouldn't be raising grandchildren because grandmamas give the kids whatever they want. I don't know what was going on here. If Candy is never there. Now we think talking about Riley. Riley is getting into it with a girl who says she don't wash her hands. That's nasty. I get that, but y'all haven't had any fight over anything really. So I don't know where all this energy is towards Georgia because she don't wash her hands. And I'm like, this is Riley, the same person. Remember, before she left to go to school, she didn't know how to clean. She was getting her little brother to do it because she don't know how to work a sponge. Yes, Kim's daughter. Ariana, I like her a lot. She's very cool. And that's another thing I thought about Ariana, how she handled Riley. And at one point, her older sister Brielle was there, and she said, because Ariana broke up with her boyfriend, and Brielle said, I'm so proud of you. You finally chose yourself. You're always doing things, sacrificing for other people. And when I saw how she handled Riley, I was like, that's probably the same shit she had to deal with her mother. And what's his name over there? Fighting. She's spoiled and entitled, and it is not cute at all. At all. At the very least, girl, you should be not drinking like that when you know you on camera. You know what I'm saying? Figure it out. Yeah, Ariana, I like her a lot. She's a cool girl, in spite of having Kim Zolciak as a mother. Um, Candy didn't raise her; she just gave her things to pacify her. And I remember Todd having an issue with Candy giving her like G wagons and all of that stuff, and we were all like, "That's her daughter; she can give her what she wants." I don't think I stood by that either. I don't think, as a wealthy child, she should be suffering. But when you give them like that, you said Riley never liked Todd like that. She's using that as an excuse. She was on doing an interview the other day, and she said they didn't even tell her, like, things going on in the house of Candy holding it down, and so she wasn't actually feeling the effects of everything that was going on. Glad to see Kim's daughters were able to turn a bad situation into something better. Well, at one point they said Kim was using their money. They didn't, got bailed her ass out because the kids, they make money off of influencers being influencers and everything. But it was Gia, Adriana, and Dame Dash's daughter. They were all trying to get Riley to stop doing what she was doing because they knew it was not going to be a good look. And at the end of the day, Riley could not take accountability. She sat up there and said she was triggered. Drinking just should not be on her list of things to do. You know what I'm saying? Especially when she go out, or she gonna have to figure out how to manage it, because I don't want to call her an alcoholic, because that's probably not the case. However, she doesn't do good with alcohol. Some people are really mean when they drink, and she's one of those people. And if you look at her eyes, Riley is black the hell out. Let me play it one more time, just without sound. When you look at her eyes, Riley is gone. She's sitting up there with that wig on top of her head. And, I don't look at those eyes. She's not there. She is gone. She is gone. And that's not a good time. It's never fun when you're out with somebody and they don't know how to control their darn liquor, child. Anyway, Candy made her ass come home. I hope, her and her mother have a very good talk. But Candy is everywhere, always gone. And I wonder, Riley was raised by Mama Joyce for the most part because Candy was out on the road. We already know that. Escape was touring and stuff. I'm wondering if Ace and Little Candy, what's her name? I wonder if they're getting a different version of Candy than Riley did. That's probably why Candy didn't drink, because she a drag somebody. She get out here drink. Can you say low key Riley doesn't like Candy? That's kind of what I was saying. I was like, I wonder if she sees the little boy and the little girl getting a different version of her mother, because Candy was gone on the road. You know what I'm saying? That we seen on the show when Candy said she wanted another baby, and Riley was like, "You ain't around already, so why would y'all have more kids?" Like we've seen all these things, and Riley's little stank attitude. She was not a pleasant little girl. She was always saying something snarky like Mama Joyce. Candy and Riley father compensate time with money, so the girl's going to be hurting for real love. Was her father wasn't nowhere damn around. He was absent. He has a whole nother family. She don't like him either. She and Miss Mama Joyce is so hateful. She probably sits around, you know what I'm saying, growing up with her and Aunt Bertha and them sitting around talking shit about everybody, and she's the same. And I said, when you get drunk, what they say, a drunk tongue speaks the truth or something like that. She looked at that girl and said, "You can't afford a Birkin." They was all like, "I don't got no Birkin either." So you're the rich bitch at the table talking shit. Like I said, Ariana over there, they about to get evicted. She's like, can't get no Birkin. Dame Dash is over there getting his daughter evicted from the house. She's like, I ain't got no Birkin either. So yeah, she's a rich little brat who gets angry and violent when she's drunk. And if Riley keeps going out here and getting under the influence, she was talking about her people back home when they let that happen. Well, Riley, that's because they work for your mother. That's what I would say, because I am not going out with somebody. You got one time to get drunk like that. That's why I'm like Matt and I drive my own car. So, I mean, this isn't a show that I'm probably going to review necessarily. I'm here for Riley. So I hope she straightens it out, because this is not a good look. And now she's over here making excuses for why she was over there. Like I said, being drunk is one thing, but being violent, that's different. That means you and alcohol don't go together. They're being raised by a nanny, not Candy. And then they got Todd over here pretending like he's taking care of the kids. Child, what these rich people won't do. Well, my kids is here with me. So I'm going to get up from here and go spend some time with my babies. And yeah, I'll be back in the morning, y'all. It's Coffee Talk is back. I'll be back at 10:30. I done spoken till my mouth is dry. Yeah, I'll be back at 10:30 tomorrow morning for some coffee talk. So I'll see y'all when I see you. Have a good night. Bye.